Whoa, flying socks!
Generation 5 is starting this weird, wacky trend that Generation 4 definitely did a lot better, where there is this issue in an episode, and the issue persists through the entirety of the episode, right? That's how Generation 4 has always done it. In Generation 5, the issue may persist through most of the episode, but the solution is solved so quickly. Like, the problem more is of a build-up in Generation 5. The Bridlewoodstock special is no different. It is no exception to this weird rule, I guess, that they seem to have, where they have this issue that they kind of build up for the whole episode, and then for the last, like, maybe 5 minutes max, they solve the issue. They fix the issue, and everything is resolved. This is something that Generation 5 has been doing so far in Bridlewoodstock. Like I said, it did it pretty badly, I think, because this is a 45-minute special or whatever, right? And you have this issue where, okay, they're all going to be the lead singer, oh no, or they're all going to be the headliner or whatever, right? And then that obviously is an issue, but there's also the issue of the Troggles that are going to be coming in later. We know that's going to happen because, of course, that's going to happen. What else would happen, right? And so you do all this stuff and you think, okay, well, the Troggles are going to have to come up at some point, right? And then they're going to be an issue and they're going to battle them for a little bit or something, and they're going to figure out how to solve them or something. But even though they give the solution basically up front at the beginning in the poem that Izzy says, it still is like way too fast for them to just like immediately solve the solution. The same thing happens with the other issue that they had with the headliners. They're like, oh no, they kind of figured out, like, they didn't realize that all of them were going to be the headliners up until like towards the end of the episode. Then they did, and then they kind of talked to them for like maybe 2 minutes or whatever, and then boom, the solution was there. They were like, okay, I don't want to be headliner anymore. They just kind of all just gave that up for some reason, which I think is a little bit weird in of itself. Basically, they talked to each of them, and each of them agreed to be the new opener instead of the new headliner, right? Then that issue was just immediately glossed over because they had an opener, they chose an opener, and then the others didn't say anything about being the opening band or whatever else like that. So that was another weird thing too. But yeah, it's just really weird. They did again, that kind of goes back to what I said earlier, where this last like handful of bits of this episode, last maybe 15 minutes of the episode, felt extremely rushed for some reason. But it's weird that this just keeps happening in Generation 5. In Generation 4, it was a lot different. You would have the issues, Parasprites, for example, that would terrorize the town for the entirety of the episode until the very end when Pinkie Pie finally came through and saved everyone. Or you have all those episodes in like Season 5 and Season 6 and stuff like that where they're solving friendship problems, and the entirety of the episode is them trying to solve an issue, solve a problem of some kind. So it's weird that Generation 5 is doing this differently. And that, I think, is my main critique for this Bridlewoodstock special and everything like that. Overall, it was, I guess, okay. It's Generation 5. They're not doing things as good as they did in Generation 4, and I guess I shouldn't have expected something super spectacular. I did like the music that they did. The music was pretty all right. Of course, you didn't really get any of it until the end, obviously, but it was pretty good. There was a couple of other things, too. Like, I thought the designs for the Troggles themselves were very goofy. I kind of liked them, actually. They're like super goofy and stuff, and I don't know, it's interesting. I can definitely see us possibly having like some kind of Bridlewoodstock mentions and stuff like that later on in the series, maybe the next season or something like that. They mention like going to Bridlewoodstock or something like that, or they talk about, oh, we're doing this again, and it's like for the first few minutes of the episode, and it's not the main plot or something, because it is something that, you know, maybe they'll come back to later on in the future or something, and I kind of hope that they do that. The episode starts off fine. Everything is good. Another issue that I had was, again, towards the end of the episode, or the special, whatever, like that. It just kind of abruptly ends. Go back and watch it, or watch it for the first time if you haven't watched it yet. As soon as they finish that song, it just instantly cuts to the credits, and it's super, like, jarring. It's, like, super weird that they cut it like that. It definitely has a very weird feeling to it, for sure. But yeah, I mean, other than those main things, it's kind of okay. Maybe like a 3 out of 5 or something like that. It's not doing anything spectacular or crazy or interesting or anything like that. It doesn't hype me up for the rest of the season or anything like that. Of course, there's only like 6 more episodes to watch after this special and stuff, right? So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of this Bridlewoodstock special and stuff like that. I don't really have much else to say about it because, like I said, it was kind of, I feel like the main issue was the Troggles, but they kind of just were like, oh, well, we'll just use this, right? And the last few minutes felt rushed is really what I'm trying to say here. And I feel like a lot of the build up towards that final like 10 minutes of the episode or whatever like that was like stretched on a little bit longer than it really needed to be. I feel like having these multiple issues of the Troggles and like the opening headliners and all this other stuff like that, I guess not opening, but the headliners specifically, I think that's a bit too many problems maybe, or maybe they spent too much time on this issue that a lot of people probably don't care about. It also obviously that issue made it super predictable. As soon as they said the first headliner, I was like, oh, they're all going to be headliners now, right? And that's going to be the issue, and then the Troggles are going to attack and it's going to be a disaster. Well, that was what happened, but they immediately solved both of them. So like, what is the point? Like I said, let me know what you guys thought of Bridlewoodstock special. And yeah, I guess I really don't have anything else to say. I'm interested to see what else the rest of the series is going to do. I'll be making reviews on each episode, I think. So stay tuned for those. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and do all those wonderful things like that. Because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself. And I think we all want that. So do all those wonderful things. And until next time, stay wonderful.